So here we are with Heather Wenman at Studio Age Artist Group.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
We're talking about the digital program through the ABA, and today we're going to walk through your digital health check. That's usually the number one place where people should start for their to sort of figure out how to move forward with the digital strategy, and it's all part of the ABA program, exclusive for members only. So Heather, I'm just going to share my screen, and then we'll go through the process of what it was like. It was super easy for you, right, when you signed up for your digital health check?
Absolutely. At first I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to have to get a whole bunch of information together. We're going to have to do a bunch of background, like City Media. Your team just goes in and collects that data already that, in the digital world, and brought it all together. And then we were able to not only visually see it really quickly, but it was easy steps to navigate through the website. So
good. And the one thing that I love about the digital health check is that it not only benchmarks you and how you're doing across the 4 key pillars of digital, which is social, SEO, organic search, your website and how mobile friendly it is, and your reviews and reputation management, which you've got great reviews and reputation, but it also benchmarks you against competitors and the industry. So you really get a sense of where do you fit in all of this information, which I think is probably as important as how you're doing. Because once you know what your competitors are doing and where, how many posts they're doing versus how many posts you're doing, that kind of thing, it really tells you where you can sort of step up your digital strategy and maybe where you're just doing a great job already.
Right. And that has been a wealth of knowledge, especially because we have a boutique business in London, Ontario here. But it also helps to compare and helps you upscale yourself with your partners in your brands, but also to look at, shall we say, like franchises and other brands that do things certain ways. It really gives you a little bit more of a platform, but it keeps everybody equal. So I feel like it's equal on the playing field based on what your needs for your business are. So it's been really awesome.
Great. There was 2 things that I found with your digital health check that are really worth noting. One is you have a wonderful social media presence, really, really strong. Great audience on Facebook, great audience on Instagram. So when we moved you to the e-commerce, we sort of looked at that and thought, okay, how can we leverage that audience? They're not always on your website, but they're always following Studio Age Artist Group and what they're doing.
Yes.
So if we can put your products in front of them, wouldn't that be awesome? Because it's one more audience and one more channel. Actually, 2 more channels because it's Facebook and Instagram, right?
Right.
So that's something we learned from the digital health check.
And it has grown some loyalty, and our clients, friends, and other professionals in the industry believe they're leaders and mentors. And as an ambassador and on the board of the Allied Beauty Association at my ABA, it's really cool because people tend to look at, oh well, if that's cool in the industry by industry leaders, it's also cool for me to look into that product. So I think clients are more apt to trust you because your transparency and exposure and that is out there. So we're looking forward to it future-proofing the industry as well and making it convenient for long-distance clients and for local people. And it really helps to build a brand. So I find that your brand sponsors are very comfortable with giving you e-commerce setup information and great photos, so you don't have to create it all yourself, as you've said in our previous interview. But no, it's great on many levels.
And utilizing sort of those external channels. The one thing that we know for sure in e-commerce is people, when they get to digital, so different than in person, because people on digital, they have no patience. 2 clicks is all you get. 2 clicks away from whatever piece of information they're after. If they can't find it in 2 clicks, they're gone Googling it, looking for it.
I know I would be that person. So yes, I agree with you.
We all are. We want instant gratification right online. So how do we do
that?
Well,
and it's time, right? So gratification, right? And instant time, because time is precious, and we know that we're not making revenue when we're using this time. So it is important, and we through this program have learned exactly how people shop and what people are looking for and how to get out the details that may be too much and how to simplify it. And
Mhm.
we know we're in a visual industry, so the beauty industry,
Yep.
barbering, aesthetics, and we're your professional grooming center that does it all. So we need to make sure that it's easy to touch for everyone, all genders, and to be fair. And some of us have a little more background in education, like the millennials. They're very fast and efficient. We still need to cater to our long-term clients.
Mhm.
We had one in the studio this morning that said she's been with me since 1988, and I went, yeah, I can't, that can't be. But she's also shopping and sitting in the chair looking at our socials on the station, and it's just kind of cool that we're reaching out to everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. So I'll just share my screen for a second, and I'll show you what it looks like to apply for a digital health check. If I can find where it is. Just gonna go in here, open this up, and we're gonna go straight to your digital health check. So
Perfect.
this is where this page is on the ABA website and it's also on the City Media website. It's exclusive for ABA members only. I believe that we're going to send out a couple of newsletters with this exact link in there, so it'll be really easy for everybody to find. And all you need to do to sort of start the process, and that doesn't mean any commitments or that you have to do anything. This just sort of tells you sort of where you're at and what might be some opportunities for you. But all you're doing is you just put in your information here. So we put in your name as the business owner. Whoops, we have to spell your name. And then
So do you have to be a business owner, Catherine? You just have to be a member, right?
You have to be an ABA member in order to be able to utilize this. That's right.
And that's easy to do, friends.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yep. If you want to know how to be a member, then just ask, or click through or go to ABA Canada. There'll be lots of links to do that too. We can actually add a link right here if people want to join. And then it opens up your business. This is all attached to the Google My Business page. So since you have a Google My Business page, instantly when I put your information in there, it's going to your Google My Business page and saying, oh, this Studio HR group. So it's pulling all that information from Google My Business, and then it starts to build your digital health check. So within 24 hours, you're going to have a complete report on what your digital footprint is like in your marketplace.
Wow, that's cool. And we want to be friends with Google because Google's going to be the driver, right? They're going to be.
Well, that's right. Google makes the rules in a lot of these things. It's unfortunate. We can agree or disagree with what they have to say, but 99% of people still search on Google. So we want to make sure that we're Google friendly, right?
Absolutely.
So once you've submitted that information, this is what your digital health check is going to look like. So here we are. This is specifically for Studio HR Group. It's based on your website. This is the category, beauty and spas, that you've used in your Google My Business page. So it's pulling that information forward. It's pulling the information from your Google My Business page to showcase different areas of your site. And then it's really ranking you across these different parameters. So don't worry about the last two, SEO and advertising, because you're probably not doing a lot of Google ads or advertising. So it's not that you're not doing a bad job, you're just not doing them. The other ones, everybody's in a different place. And really the idea behind this is to show you the opportunities. There's so many opportunities, right? So we're looking at the listings, which is your organic search. So how you're showing up in Google, your overall reviews, what people are saying about you, social and your presence on social, and your website. So then we'll walk you through each one of these and show you exactly what your industry is doing, how you're performing against your industry. For example, look at all the reviews that you're getting, and you're getting great reviews, right? So lots of really interesting things, like 97 reviews you're getting versus 28, which is your industry average, versus 370, which is the industry leader. So that just gives you an idea to benchmark and say, okay, I'm way above average,
So
but there's still room to grow.
Right, and the industry leaders, those are all brands, right? This is the industry at large. So
Right. Yep.
you can say, wow, my business or my brand compares very, very well by looking at, and it also shows that this driver is more powerful than even Facebook alone. So do they all work together, Catherine? Like the socials and the digital check come from many different sources. It comes from Google My Business, but does it come from other socials?
Exactly. So we scrape the web and look at your reviews, where they're found. Most people are found on Google and Facebook, which is absolutely where you should be. I always tell clients there's only two ways that people are really going to find you. One is they're going to search for you, or they're going to find you on social media. They're really, those are the
or word of mouth.
Word of mouth, but even word of mouth.
And then they give a review. So it all goes
Right, right. But even word of mouth, it's like, okay, we hear about you. Most people still go back and put it into that search bar on Google. And then up comes your Google My Business page. There shows your reviews. People click in and it starts to drive more traffic to your site. So it's all about using all these channels to get as many people as possible to your site. Your social is really strong. People love you. Look at this. That's what I meant by having such a strong social presence, right? 1,800 likes versus the average of 500. So really, really solid, right? Twitter, you're not doing so much on, and but certainly on Instagram, you are as well. So,
and this actually brings a really good point. We hadn't been focused on LinkedIn or Twitter and different things, and we said, you know, where can we leverage some interest? So when we went and reviewed, our team decided, okay, we have to give City Media a little bit more to work with. And what we realized was a lot of our clients we found on Twitter. So it was a different audience that we hadn't been speaking to, yet they were already in our clientele. So now we have a way to bring everything from our newsletter that City Media does, and obviously now launching the e-commerce. Now we can certainly, it reminds you where you can work, and it's not a lot of work because the accounts are set up. They're just not being utilized. So if this helps us grow numbers, the report fits great.
Right, right.
Or digital health check in this case.
Right, right. And that's a really good point. Is Twitter is often the most overlooked channel, especially in the beauty industry. You know,
but the information there was amazing, right?
Right, and it's a great way to get those sort of little highlights out there. Lots of people review them like a news headline, so there's a good opportunity to reach a bigger audience.
Not just politics,
right? Without increasing your work, although it is a lot of politics. That's true.
Yeah, that's okay.
And so that gives you a sense of what your overall digital health check looks like. We also look at your website. When we look at your website, we look at how mobile friendly is it, how fast is it to load. Same thing with about 2 clicks. There's the other rule of 2, which is 2 seconds. So your page has to load in 2 seconds, or Google will go and find somebody else. So that's really, really tricky. You really want to make sure everything is well optimized.
That's a new tip.
And about 70% of your traffic right now is coming from mobile. So mobile, optimized for speed, makes you ready to go. And that's so important as a foundation for when we move you into the e-commerce. So we'll talk a little bit about the e-commerce and what that looks like in our next segment next week.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you for coming into Studio H to do this live. And we look forward to seeing everybody again. You can see it's a wealth of information, and it's complimentary because we really need to look at all kinds of different avenues. I know that it's made a difference in our business, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
So remember, if you're an ABA member, go to the digital health check or the digital program for members only. This link will be shared at the bottom of the screen if you see it on the ABA website or on Facebook. Make sure that you click in, just add your information, and from there that'll trigger the whole follow-up and you'll have your own digital health check that'll start your process of going digital.
And a little bit more about ABA. I want you to know that the ABA Association is the one place in Canada we can all go and get all kinds of information, COVID information, business information, education, certainly brands, distributors. There is just so much help for the hairdressers at large, and it's been certainly elevated and remodeled, and it's been under great construction over the last few years, and we want it to stay alive and well in Canada. So go there. It's not expensive. There's some really amazing deals there. Obviously, it's a business investment, but it's a very, very tiny one with a huge value. So, yep, we'll see you there. And if you have any questions, you can find me on any of my socials. I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you. Thanks, Heather.
Bye.
Bye.